Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to list a product on Amazon.co.uk. So getting products listed on the Amazon platform has actually been the cause of a lot of confusion, especially since 2020, because Amazon have been changing things, been a little bit stricter with the process of how to create listings, because they want their catalog to be full of really good quality products. So in this video, I'm going to demystify the whole process for you, make it all a little bit clearer, give you some step-by-step instructions, and in the description, I've actually put timestamps to different parts of the video. So if you're stuck with this, particular thing, you can go to the part in the video that will help you the most. Okay. So just a quick caveat. So this video is for listing new products to Amazon, which are not currently for sale on Amazon yet, and it's for people who are selling products under their own brand. Okay, so if you are launching a private label product, or you have your own line of products already and nobody else is selling it because it's your product, then this video is for you. If you're selling somebody else's product as a wholesaler, like maybe a Disney product or a Nintendo product, or something like that, this video is not for you, because you won't be creating your own listing. You will be selling your product on somebody else's listing. So I just wanted to make that 100% clear, so you don't waste your time watching the wrong video. So how do we get started? Well, before we actually open up the computer and start logging into Amazon and stuff like that, we need to make sure we've got a few things ready. Okay, so number one, we're going to need you're going to have to make sure you have a professional seller's account for Amazon.co.uk. Okay, this is number one on our checklist, a professional seller's account. Individual accounts have too many restrictions. I wouldn't ever recommend getting one of those. Get a professional one. So if you haven't got one yet, I actually have a video which can help you with how to set up the account. So there should be a little card at the top of this video, and you can go watch that video to learn how to set up your account. So that's thing number one on our checklist. Thing number two is your account has to be validated. Okay, so it takes a few days. Once you've created your account, Amazon will check your documents, make sure you are who you say you are. They might ask for your passport. They might ask you to do a little video with them, like a video call. They might ask for a bank statement, things like that. It has to be validated. Okay, if it's not validated, they won't let you create listings. So that's thing number two. And thing number three, it's a really good idea in most cases to use Amazon barcodes for your listing. So if you don't have packaging that already has the barcodes printed on the box, if you don't have that, and you want Amazon to print little labels with barcodes onto each one of your products, then we need to select the Amazon barcodes settings. So I'm going to show on the screen now exactly where you go. You can go to your FBA settings inside your Amazon account. You can change the setting to use Amazon barcodes by default. So if you do what's happening on the screen right now, you can get that setting set up, and then your three things on the checklist will be ready, and you can go ahead and we can get started to create your listing. So what do we do next? Well, if you have a trademark for your brand, okay, registered the trademark in the UK, then you can actually register with the brand registry program on Amazon, and you can actually get your brand officially listed as an Amazon recognized brand. Now, if you do have a trademark, this can actually be very, very, very helpful, because Amazon will protect you and help fight for you if there's any counterfeit claims that you come across. Like, people might try and jump on your listing, claim that they're selling your product, but they've actually just got maybe their own product or a fake version of your product or something like that. A lot of Chinese sellers end up trying to do this stuff, unfortunately, like factories from China. And so, we want to avoid this, right? So if you have a trademark, you can register your brand. So you can go to brandservices.amazon.co.uk. Okay, brandservices.amazon.co.uk. Make sure you are logged in as the admin of your Amazon seller account. So not a user account of the seller account, but your actual login, the person who created the Amazon account. So if you don't have any staff members signed into your account, you will definitely be the admin. But if you do have staff members, don't sign in as your staff members, sign in as yourself on Amazon, then go through the brand registry program, setup process, and you can get registered as a brand. And it takes about a week generally, sometimes less, to get approved and to get up and get your brand registered and get selling. If you don't have a trademark just yet, brand registry is something you can do in the future, but I wouldn't recommend getting a trademark before you've made sales. Like if you're launching a new private label product, I would just list it without registering a brand, because getting a trademark costs money, it takes time. Let's just get something selling first before we go and try and protect it, right? Because right now you have nothing to protect. So if you don't have a trademark, don't worry, let's just skip this step and we can move on to creating the listing. All right, so before we create the listing on Amazon, there's a few things we need to do. So first thing we need to do is create an account with GS1. Okay, so GS1 are a company who create barcodes for international retailers. Okay, so e-commerce sellers, people who run shops, anybody who needs a barcode, they get it from GS1. Now, there's a lot of websites out there on the internet that will sell you barcodes that are not GS1. So eBay sellers sell barcodes on like CSV files or PDFs. They'll sell you 10,000 barcodes for like $100 or something. And if you type into Google barcodes, you'll see tons of companies selling barcodes. Every single one of these barcodes has come from GS1 at some point. Okay, they're usually disused barcodes or old barcodes or something like that, or they've been generated using a similar algorithm to GS1, and basically they're unofficial and Amazon won't accept them. So never get barcodes from anywhere other than GS1, because it's the official way to do it. Now, Amazon used to accept barcodes from anywhere. Okay, and it used to be fine just to go to eBay and just grab a load of barcodes from there for $5 and use them to create your listing. And so you'll see on YouTube a lot of tutorials, still telling you to do that stuff. And I promise you, it does not work. You're going to get into trouble. You're going to get into issues. Your listings won't go live, and it's going to cause you a lot of frustration. So go to GS1, register, put your brand information in there. If you don't have a brand, just don't worry. Just put whatever you want your company name to be, what you would like your brand name to be, and you can generate barcodes. You get 1,000 barcodes for like £120 per year. So that's where you start. So you will get a barcode for each product. You can actually create it inside your GS1 account, and then you can use that barcode and put it on your listing. It'll be like, I think it's like 13 digits or something. And it will be like a GTIN 13 or something like that. And when you put it onto Amazon, we're going to use it as an EAN. This is all might sound really confusing, but once you go into GS1 and you create your account, it'll become quite clear what to do. You can ask their customer service, tell them I need an EAN code. How do I create one? They'll guide you through how to do it. Okay, so once you've got your barcode from GS1, next we should be ready to create your listing. So on the screen right now, I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions for how to actually create a new listing on Amazon. So you can actually create a listing within your Amazon account. You will have to choose a category for the listing. And sometimes this can be a little bit confusing because your product might fit into multiple of Amazon's subcategories. Right? They have subcategories that aren't overly specific, and your product might fit into many of them. So what I do to figure out what category to use is I look at similar products that are selling very well on Amazon already, and I just copy the category that they chose. Now, just as a side point, choosing a category on Amazon isn't really going to affect your sales. Like, you're not going to get better sales if you choose a more appropriate category. It's really a quite arbitrary process. It's really just to tell Amazon what your product is and how to classify it. So you don't want to be deliberately choosing an incorrect category, because some categories have rules that you need to follow, right? And other categories don't. So don't pick the wrong category on purpose. Make sure it's accurate, but don't worry too much about it. Just try and get it as close to what your product is as possible. So once you're in the listing creation page, all right, you should see loads of fields that you can edit to update your listing information. And then there's loads of them. There's images, there's a description. In fact, the most important one, the one that matters the most, is the vital info tab. And this is where we're going to start, because you have to fill in most of the information on the vital info tab. So, in fact, when you look around the tabs inside this page, you'll see that there's asterisks by many of the fields and asterisks on the tabs. You have to fill out every single field where there is an asterisk. Okay, that's kind of the minimum amount of stuff you have to fill out just to actually get the listing created. So I would recommend starting with all the fields that have an asterisk. So most of the fields are going to be very self-explanatory. And they're quite easy to figure out. But the stuff on the vital info page is not easy to figure out, and actually it can be very confusing when you're first trying to create a listing. So let's just have a look at some of the fields on the vital info tab, and we can explain how to fill them out. So first of all, on the brand field inside the vital info tab, if you have a brand, you can enter your brand name. Okay, and if you've registered your brand on Amazon, you can enter that name in the brand field. That's fine, because Amazon will realize that you are, registered under that brand. It's your brand, and therefore you're okay to sell products inside this brand. If you want to sell products under somebody else's brand, sometimes this requires approval from that brand's owner. But if you own your own brand, then you don't need approval, obviously. So if you have your own brand, if you did the brand registry step that we talked about earlier because you had a trademark, then you can just choose your brand. If you don't have a trademark and you haven't got brand registry, then what you're going to need to do is type in something very specific into this field. You can't just type in whatever brand you want to launch on Amazon. You have to type in something very specific. Now this changes sometimes, but the current thing that's working is to put in capital N, okay, for November, / A for alpha, okay, but put it inside inverted commas. That's single quotes. Okay, so put single quote or inverted comma, capital N, / and then A for alpha, and then another inverted comma. So it's NA or not applicable. Okay, and you're telling Amazon, look, I don't have a brand yet. It's not registered with Amazon officially yet. And this is just the quickest way to get your listing to be approved and go live. If you try typing in a name of a brand you would like to create, then Amazon recently have just changed a load of things and made this impossible. So you can't really type in the name of your brand until you register it officially and when you have a trademark. Now this doesn't matter, it's not going to affect your sales or anything. Customers just care about, is the product going to solve my problem or not? So you don't need to be too concerned about it looking weird when it says NA on the listing. So that's the first field we need to fix. The next one is manufacturer. Okay, so if you are the manufacturer of your product, right? Even if you've got a supplier in China to make the product for you, You're not going to put their factory's name in the manufacturer because they weren't manufacturing it. You were manufacturing it. You were just outsourcing the manufacturing to their company. Right? You're the one who told them what design you wanted. You're the one who's launching this product, who's done the packaging, who's put it all together. You're the manufacturer. Right? So what you can do, I'd recommend, is either put your seller name in the manufacturer field, or alternatively, you can put your brand name inside the manufacturer field. Okay, so if you have a brand name that's already registered with Amazon and you have a trademark, put that name in there. If you have a brand name that hasn't been registered officially with Amazon, but you know what your brand will be called, then you can put that inside this field. It's fine. The manufacturer field doesn't matter as much as the actual brand field. Amazon don't really track what's in this field, but you do need to fill it out. And the final thing you have to do is put in your product identifier in the Vital Info tab. And that is your barcode that you got from GS1. So whatever it is, the GTIN 13 code that you got from GS1, if you copy and paste it into the product identifier field inside the Vital Info field tab inside the product creation page, then change the drop down menu next to the product identifier field so it says EAN. Okay. And then there's some other very important things you need to do, like price. You need to put a price in for your product. Now you can change this at any time, so it doesn't have to be the price you're always going to charge, but that has to be filled out. Also, you have to upload a photo. You also have to do a title, and there will be a few other fields with an asterisk next to them, and just make sure you filled them all out, and then you will have most of this done. And once you've done all of this, okay, so on the Vital Info page, change the brand, change the manufacturer, added a product identifier, put in a price, filled out all the asterisk fields, uploaded an image, then your listing should be able to go live. And you can actually press the save listing, save and finish button, and your listing should go live. Okay, so just a quick warning, as soon as you press that button, it is going to go public. Right, so if you have chosen to send your products into the FBA warehouse and you selected that in the Vital Info tab, then it won't go live for sale until you've sent inventory into the warehouse. Okay, but if you're doing merchant fulfilled, it will go live instantly if you've told Amazon you have stock. So warning, you just want to make sure that you're not listing stuff merchant fulfilled and it goes live, because if you don't have the inventory to fulfill any orders that might come through, you could get into trouble. So yeah, make sure you're sure you're ready for it to go live. So once you've done that, you've done all the basics and you've actually got the listing to go live. Next, what we need to do is fill out all the rest of the information. Right, so I've actually done other videos on how to create a really amazing Amazon listing and optimize it and everything, and I'll link to that on the top right of this video. You can click and go watch those if you want to. I've done plenty of videos on that. But just as a quick overview, we really want to fill out as much information as humanly possible for your listing, because customers are really, if they're thinking about buying it, they will read the stuff on your listing. Right. In fact, some customers, obviously there's some customers who don't really read much of the listing. They just look at the pictures and just make an instant decision whether they're going to buy it or not. But you do get customers who read everything, and you get some customers who are just interested in one very specific detail about your product. It could be the dimensions, it could be the color, it could be the size. And so if you've missed out that field in your listing, and that was the thing the customer was interested in about your product, that could be the reason they buy the product or not. If you miss out that field, then you might miss out on a sale. So fill out absolutely everything you can and make sure it's all really accurate. But when we're looking at a listing, I mean, there's 4 main elements we really want to focus on. And there's 4 main things that will get your product to page 1, make sure customers see it, click on it and buy it. And really these determine whether your product's going to succeed or fail. So I'm going to run through with you now what these 4 elements are and just give you a brief overview of how to optimize them. And like I said, I've got other videos going into a lot more detail about this stuff. So the first part of your listing that really matters is the title. Okay, so there's 2 things we want to include in this title. Number 1 is the keyword that customers are typing in to find your product. Now there's many tools out there you can use to search and find these keywords, such as Merchant Words. Jungle Scout has a tool, Helium 10 has a keyword tool, AMZ Scout has a keyword tool. There's many tools out there you can use to search keyword volumes, search volumes. So you want to put a high volume search term in your title. Very important. Also, you want to put the thing that separates your product from everybody else's products on Amazon in your title as well. So if you are selling, for example, I don't know, looking at the corner of my room, a hairdryer, right? If you're selling a hairdryer and it comes with a case and nobody else's hairdryers come with a case, then you should put in your title that your hairdryer comes with a bonus case, a bonus leather or velvet or silk or whatever case comes with it, right? Put it in the title, because then customers will go, oh, right, well, there's loads of hairdryers on this page. This one comes with a case, so this one looks better than the rest. All right, whatever it is that's special about your product, put it in the title. That's the first element. Second element is photos. Like obviously, everybody looks at images when they're looking to buy something, because you can't pick up the product, you can't try it, you can't hold it in your hands. If it's a piece of clothing, you can't, try it on, see how it feels, see how heavy it is, all those things. And they say an image tells 1,000 words, right? It's true. So make sure your photos look great, right? We want clear photos, white background. Put text on your photos and describe great benefits about your products, right? That's, a lot of people don't do that, and it's wasted space, right? A lot of people just look at images and make a decision whether they're going to buy the product or not. So put text on your images and explain why the product is so cool, and put arrows towards little different parts of the product, explaining, the dimensions and what cool features it has and things like that. We want to fill out all the images you can. I think you get up to 9 depending on the category, but we want to as many images as you possibly can. Make sure you have them all uploaded. Okay, so that's element number 2. Element number 3 are the bullets. So they're called key product identifiers, I believe, or something weird like that. When you're creating your listing, I always forget the name of it. You can add up to 5 of these. And what they really are is bullet points on the listing. And these are really where people decide whether they're going to buy the product or not. Most customers decide whether they're going to buy the product or not in the bullets. Right? In fact, sometimes customers will see one of your bullet points, and if it has the right information in it, they'll instantly buy your product. It's unbelievably overlooked area of your listing. In fact, a lot of sellers don't realize how important it is to have great bullet points. So the key thing here is to focus on benefits of your product and back it up with features. Right? So if your hairdryer has I don't know how hairdryers work, but let's say it gets really hot and it has very fast airflow. Right? Your hairdryer gets really hot, one you're going to sell, and it has very fast airflow. Those are both features. All right, they're things that your product has or does. The benefit of those features would be that it dries your hair quickly, I would imagine, right? So we want to lead with the benefit and say in the beginning of a bullet, dries hair, I don't know, whatever, 3 times faster than the average hairdryer. Obviously, it needs to be true. You can't lie. But if it's true, then write that, or dries hair extremely fast. And then go on to explain why that's the case with the features. because it has super fast airflow and it gets really, really hot, right? You can actually put like a little headline for each bullet in capital letters in your bullets. You can't put any HTML in the bullets. You can't have bold or anything, but you can just use all caps for the first few words. So put the benefit in all caps and then explain it with the features in lowercase. Then the fourth and final element of your listing will be the description. So description is really where people go and learn all the details about your product, and you can write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about your product. You can use different HTML tags to actually separate it out. You can use things like spacing, bold, italics, bullets inside the description. And, don't leave this section blank, or don't leave it as an afterthought, because customers will read this. One thing you can do is really paint a picture in the customer's mind of why your product is going to make their life better. That's what you want to do in the description, and then just go into a lot of detail about all the different ingredients, the different materials the product's made of. Like, you really can't go into enough detail about how amazing your product is. Like, if you write pages and pages and pages, you could still add more, because when someone's looking to buy something, they get excited about it, and they're willing to read and read and read and read, or at least they'll skim it, right, to find the bits that they're interested in. So put as much information in the description as you possibly can. Finally, another section you can update is your A+ content. So this will only apply to you if you registered your brand under the Amazon's brand registry program, and if you have a trademark. If you don't have the brand registry, you won't get A+ content. So you can skip this. It's nice, but it doesn't really, it's not going to make or break your product. But if you do have it available, then you can add extra pictures, extra text, and it just gives you an extra little section inside your listing to add even more detail. So we've covered how to create a listing and all the different things you can fill out inside your listing. So finally, I wanted to just cover how to overcome issues when you're creating your listing, because you may encounter some issues along the way, especially with the way Amazon keeps changing things at the moment with their listings and the catalog and everything. It's not unheard of for people to find they run into issues. So how do you overcome them? Well, I have two pieces of advice for you. Number one, this is the first thing you should do, and this is what you should be doing more than anything else with everything to do with Amazon. Keep tweaking stuff and playing with it until it works. Right? You should be interacting with Amazon's, your Seller Central account like a child. You should be playing around, constantly trying different things until something clicks and works and goes through. That's going to get you lots and lots and lots of progress. For example, your product might get put through under a Hazmat review, right? This is a very common thing for Amazon sellers to experience, right? You're selling a product which is not hazardous, but Amazon, for some reason, think that you've got hazardous materials inside your product, right? Hazmat stands for hazardous materials. So you're going to have to, go through this whole process of getting Amazon to review what type of hazardous materials your product has inside it, even though your product doesn't have any of these hazmat materials. So this is a glitch in their system. It's something they've done wrong. Their software's picked up something that clearly is inaccurate, and a lot of Amazon sellers will message Amazon and be like, well, my product's been flagged for hazmat. I've been put through this review, but it shouldn't have been. And they find that Amazon just don't really help very much, and they're just kind of slow to actually assist them, and they can be kind of useless. And there's got loads and loads and loads and loads of people working in like call centers and stuff in the Philippines who haven't been trained all that well and just have a few basic scripts and automated replies to send to you when you send them messages. So Amazon support can be a little bit lacking sometimes. But really, if you encounter a problem like this, sometimes Amazon's bots or the software that they have that picks up on things to flag products for Hazmat review and other issues, sometimes it will just be one keyword that you have inside your description or your bullets or your title, and if you remove that keyword, this whole problem will be solved. You won't need to go through Hazmat review anymore. So definitely contact Amazon seller support. All right, it's the second thing you should do. All right, contact them, send them a message, explain what's going on. But while you're waiting for them to get back to you, or while you're waiting to get put through to somebody who knows what they're talking about, which can take a while, keep playing. All right, keep trying things, keep testing different keywords. Try removing the whole description, copy and paste it into a notepad or a Word document or something. Delete it off your listing, and then try and save the listing and see if the same thing happens. Try removing a couple of paragraphs. Try removing one of your bullet points. Try tweaking the title. If you have an issue with an image, try shifting around the design of the image, maybe flip it so it's reversed, or just keep trying things, and sooner or later your listing will be approved. Remember, most of Amazon's stuff that causes you errors and issues is because of their software. Right? A lot of it's run with bots, and they crawl over your listing and check for things, and they'll either pick up something or they won't. So you just have to basically keep trying things until the bots go, okay, it's fine, your listing is approved. So, hope this video has been helpful. We covered a lot of ground. It's a long video. Congrats on making it to the end, and I hope that it's been helpful. So if you are going to be creating listings, it might be a good idea to maybe bookmark this video and come back to it later, because obviously we covered quite a lot of specific steps, and you may need to do this as you go along and as you actually create your listing. So feel free to do that. Also subscribe to my channel, as I'll be doing more videos about topics such as this. Also, I have interviews with people in the e-commerce industry, inspirational videos, other training videos like that as well. So thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe, hit like, comment if you liked the video, and I'll catch you very soon.
When your life is falling